Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Why a Cowboys, Brandin Cooks reunion may make sense for both sides. The Dallas Cowboys have plenty of holes on their roster to fill this spring. One of the most significant things they'll need to address is finding capable wide receivers to work with All-Pro CeeDee Lamb. Dallas' offense lacked firepower in a big way last season, and it showed in their on-field performance. The lack of separation and explosiveness from receivers outside of Lamb was a significant factor in Dallas' struggles on offense. This spring, the Cowboys will need to find offensive playmakers who can make Dak Prescott's job easier and help get their offense back to one of the better overall units in the entire league. One way to get off to a good start in achieving this goal may be by reuniting with a player who had a very disappointing 2024 season, wide receiver Brandin Cooks. The 31-year-old had a nightmare 2024 campaign as injuries limited him to playing in just 10 regular season games. When he was on the field, it was evident Cooks did not look like the player we saw in Dallas during the 2023 season. Cooks' biggest issue during the season was lack of separation, as the 31-year-old finished the season with the fourth worst average separation rate, 2.2 yards, among qualified receivers. He also failed to surpass 55 or more receiving yards in a single game and posted career lows in receptions, 26, receiving yards, 259, receiving success rate, 48.1%, and catch percentage, 48.15. The veteran never looked healthy throughout the entire season, and it's fair to question if he ever was able to fully recover from the early season knee injury that forced him to miss significant time. All of this may lead you to believe Dallas should look elsewhere at the receiver spot this spring, but they may be able to find some value in potentially retaining the veteran wideout. After the year he had, it's hard to see any team giving Cooks a multi-year deal on the open market. The 31-year-old is about to enter his 12th season in the league and has earned $116 million during this span. In what may be one of the final seasons of his career, Cooks may prefer to play somewhere he is comfortable and knows the offensive system, which would help Dallas if they want to retain his services. Spotrac projects Cooks to earn a one-year, $5 million deal in free agency this spring. That number seems like fair value for the veteran, and it would be an affordable option for the Cowboys to retain some depth at the receiver spot before adding a legit number 2 option in the draft. Consider this: if the Cowboys were to retain Cooks and add a receiver in the first round of the draft, like Luther Burden III or Emeka Egbuka, you would feel good about the position group entering the season. In this scenario, you would have Lamb plus Egbuka, Burden as your top 2 options and Cooks, Jalen Tolbert as your 3 and 4. That's a pretty solid group, not to mention wildcards Kavonte Turpin and Jonathan Mingo serving as depth pieces. Cooks may never be the guy we saw during the 2023 season again, but Dallas does not need him to be. What the Cowboys would need from him is 40 or so receptions totaling 400 to 450 yards to take some pressure off Jalen Tolbert and whatever receiver they select early in the 2025 draft. The Cowboys and Brandin Cooks could both benefit from a reunion. Bringing the veteran wideout back to Dallas on a one-year deal would be an excellent start to a critical offseason for America's team. Chiefs and Cowboys linked to landing high-impact one-time Pro Bowler in free agency. A new report claims the Kansas City Chiefs and Dallas Cowboys are likely landing spots for a 4-time 1,000-plus yard receiver that could become available in NFL free agency very soon. With the 2024-25 NFL season in the rearview, all 32 teams around the league are now focused on the start of free agency next month and the NFL draft in April. While the Chiefs and Cowboys are huge brands in the sport, they enter the offseason in very different situations. Kansas City is just a few weeks removed from a crushing defeat in the Super Bowl that saw their three-peat hopes go up in flames. However, 2024 was a major disappointment for the Cowboys. After 3 straight 12-win seasons, they went 7-10 this season and missed the playoffs. It leads to Mike McCarthy being replaced by Brian Schottenheimer and a new direction for the club. Yet, while the two teams are in different places in the NFL pecking order, an interesting new team links both organizations to a talented veteran receiver who could soon be a cap casualty. On Wednesday, ESPN Seattle Seahawks reporter Brady Henderson looked at the unsure future of 10-year veteran Tyler Lockett with the franchise. In 2024 he had one of his worst seasons as a pro. And over the last year, former first-round pick Jackson Smith-Njigba has usurped his spot as the number 2 receiver on the depth chart. That is why he expects he will be a cap casualty this month. And he believes Kansas City and Dallas are logical landing spots for the one-time Pro Bowler. Lockett spends much of the off-season in Texas, where he's practiced real estate as a licensed agent since 2022, he added. The Cowboys' new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, was Lockett's offensive coordinator for 3 of his best seasons in Seattle. Could Cowboys steal Eagles linemen in free agency move? When off-season programming gets into full swing for the Dallas Cowboys, offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer will take on the challenge of reshaping this team's offense. For Dallas, this turnaround starts at the line. The Cowboys started the season with veteran Zach Martin in the lineup, but injuries would end his season early. He has yet to decide on returning to the team, leaving in free agency or retiring from the league. While Martin is not the same threat he was even just a few years ago, replacing him at the right guard spot will be a major task for the team. Given the youth and inexperience on the line, Dallas may not want to rely on filling that hole through the draft. Adding a veteran through free agency may be the smart move here. The Cowboys could find that in current Philadelphia Eagles right guard Mekhi Becton. Following a resurgent 2024 campaign, Becton has put himself in position to get rewarded for his play in free agency. Becton got a new opportunity in 2024 when the Philadelphia Eagles signed him and moved him to guard. With a new home and a new position, the 25-year-old, 26 in April, thrived. The Cowboys should also consider Becton if they can erase their projected $5.7 million cap deficit as a potential replacement for Zach Martin. Whether it's Becton or someone else, Dallas could find themselves in need of a right guard if Martin leaves the team.